What's going on, guys? If you're new to the channel and you're a Dallas Cowboy fan or NFL fan, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. This is your #1 YouTube channel when it comes to die-hard fans, or I like to call it more than a fan. And while you're at it, go ahead and like up the video and let's get into the comments. The NFL question of the day is, who do you think is the best quarterback in the NFL? If you have a favorite team, don't be biased. Name the best NFL starting quarterback. And now let's get into what this video is all about. Now, the Cowboys are set to have their top 30 visits from the following wide receivers: Quentin Johnson, Zay Flowers, Josh Downs, and the guy named Jonathan Mingo. Now, I've heard those top 3 guys. I haven't heard much about Jonathan Mingo. If you know anything, go ahead and comment below what school he goes to, is he a good player, and what round do you think he'll get drafted in. Now, for the top 30 visits, that's actually a good list. Quentin Johnson, Zay Flowers, and Josh Downs are all elite players. I'm here to talk about who do you think we'll actually draft and who we should actually draft. But when it comes to evaluating wide receivers in the NFL draft, there's only one person that I personally can trust, and that is former Carolina Panthers and Baltimore Ravens wide receiver Steve Smith. Now, you may ask, why do I trust Steve Smith? He's a former player, but he's not a coach, he's not a scout, he's not in player personnel. Well, I can sum it up in this one video. Go ahead and check it out.
Cooper Kupp was the best wide receiver in his class.
I love Cooper Kupp. I know you got Corey Davis. I got Cooper Kupp as #1. His cup's never empty.
And the dude said that Steve Smith is an idiot.
Steve Smith, you're an idiot.
He said that Cooper Kupp was his wide receiver 1.
Steve Smith knows nothing about wide receiver evaluation.
He was the most well-rounded wide receiver in the game.
You got your top 5. Kupp's your top. Kupp's my top guy. There's no route he can't run.
As a rookie, I thought he was better than, I think it was Juju. And they said Steve Smith doesn't know anything, he's an idiot. You know what, man? I guess Steve might have knew a little bit about this game. Just a little bit.
And that is why nobody was big on Cooper Kupp besides Steve Smith back in the day. Everybody thought the man was crazy, and he wasn't. As we all know, Cooper Kupp, Triple Crown King. Yards, catches, and touchdowns. Steve Smith hit it on the nose, and I'm hoping that he'll do the same exact thing for this NFL draft. That is why we're going to go over the top receivers that's projected to go in the first round in this year's NFL draft and see what Steve Smith has to say about them. The #1 wide receiver in this year's draft is Quentin Johnson, who's from TCU. Now, Quentin is 6'4", he's 216 pounds. He's a big guy. Now, everybody thought that Quentin would run a 4.49. He didn't run at the combine, but he did run at his pro day, and he ran a 4.5 hand time. That's obviously not fast, but he's a big guy. Now, when Steve was watching this film, he says that he's an up and down type of guy. On his film, everybody says he's fast, but he doesn't look as fast as advertised. Steve also said that he's more of a body catcher instead of high pointing the ball, which I don't have a total problem against because one of the greatest wide receivers in the NFL history was a body catcher, Randy Moss. But Randy Moss ran a 4.21. Quentin Johnson, he ain't running a 4.21, so I guess that can be a problem. So when it comes to Quentin Johnson from TCU, I'm going to have to pass on him. The next guy we have is Jordan Addison, former Pitt Panther, and then transferred to USC. Now, Jordan stands 5'11", 173 pounds. He ran a 4.49 at the combine, which is a huge improvement from Quentin Johnson's number, which was a hand time. This 4.49 was laser, so it was official. Now, Steve described Jordan Addison as a guy who can take over the game if he gets started early. If he's a guy who, you get him a couple touches early on in the game, he's going to break one. He's going to score quick, and the defense is going to have a long day covering that guy. So that was good to hear. He has the contested catches. He catches in traffic. He's a tough, smart guy on the field. When watching the film with my own eyes, I agree with everything Steve Smith said. I'm just not totally sold on if I want to use my first-round draft pick on Jordan Addison. The third guy on my list is Jackson Smith-Njigba out of Ohio State. Now, Jackson stands 6'1", 196 pounds. And, the big question mark on Jackson was his 40-yard dash. He didn't run at the combine, and I believe that he didn't for a reason. During his pro day, they said he ran between a 4.48 and a 4.52 hand time. At the combine, If you ask me, I think he was going to touch a 4.6. So it was a smart decision on his part not to run at the combine. But Steve's words, he's athletic, just not fast. Steve Smith also said that the man has a PhD in route running and he is a complete slot wide receiver. I'm just going to have to pass on Jackson Smith because I want speed. Now the last wide receiver I want to talk about is the guy that I want my Dallas Cowboys to draft. Zay Flowers out of Boston College. He's a small guy, 5'9", 182 pounds. But he ran a 4.42 at the combine. So that's laser. That's blazing. He's projected to go late first round, early second. That's right in our alley. Pick number 26. Now, Steve Smith describes Zay Flowers as a silky smooth route runner, has balance. His body control is unbelievable, and his run after catch is explosive. He's a day one plug and play type of player, and he's the one. So I'll be thrilled if Zay falls to us at number 26. Will he? I doubt it. And there you have it. Some of the top wide receivers in this year's NFL draft, according to Steve Smith, who was right about Cooper Kupp, who is one of the top wide receivers in the NFL today. If you're a Cowboy fan, comment below who you want the Cowboys to draft. If you're not a Cowboy fan, but you have a favorite team, comment below who you think is the best wide receiver in this year's NFL draft.